Hello Facebook ads people, I'm Konstantinos and this is the Facebook ads breaking news podcast. Hi guys, another podcast, so it's podcast 85. Today we're going to do something different because, all of these years I'm listening to people saying that Meta is bad, Meta is not doing well, and they're doing this and that. And yes, there is some truth to the fact that the results are worse from what it used to be. But I was just wondering the other time, and I'm not here to defend Meta. I'm just trying to find out the whole hypocrisy behind this. Because everybody talks about Meta in a bad way, including me sometimes, but we do live from Meta, we do run ads from Meta, and if we have the chance to be profitable on Meta, we like it because it's the only platform that can give that growth. So from time to time you hear people saying, guys, stop advertising on Meta stuff. Meta doesn't care if you don't advertise anymore because somebody else is going to, and there are going to be many people trying to advertise on Meta. So after doing the daily loop theory videos explaining why you cannot scale with one creative and all of that, I think that it's time for me to do this podcast because I would love to explain the mentality of some people, and the reason that I'm going to do it is because I've seen a Reddit post where people are saying the worst things about Meta, but I can sense that if they could advertise, they were going to do it without any questions. So without any further ado, I will just like to do that. We're going to do it like this today, and then we will go to your questions. Let me see how many questions you have. Over here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So not a lot of questions. But we're just going to talk about this here. So it's coming, I don't know how Reddit works, but I think that the post is coming from a guy called Previous Place 9862. And it's this. This question is mainly for people who've done e-com ads for a few years on Facebook. Has it always been this volatile? The answer is yes. It was less volatile before iOS, but now it's even more. I made some decent money back in June, July, and August. Then in September, I got hacked. The ads became a shit show. Now in October, it's the same. I can barely get a sale that breaks even. Most of the times I don't, and this is my primary source of income. So my question is this. Has it always been this volatile, this unstable gambling? So this person got hacked, he lost all of his ads, and he just wants to do this and go back to the normal results that he actually had. I just want you to just see behind the words the whole hypocrisy, This is not volatility. This is you describing a situation that you have built with ads and then just wanted to just turn them on and everything would be fine, especially after getting hacked, which is your mistake, or let's say that it wasn't your mistake, but still it's an unpleasant situation and your ad account is getting flagged also, so it's getting less quality. This is stable gambling because it's not so much testing anymore as it is gambling. Like I could spend 1 week editing a video psychologically manipulating people to comment controversial elements as well, and it'll perform like dog. Then I can do a stolen image from Pinterest and bam, 8 ROAS. Here, he keeps lying to himself. So he says, basically you're doing a video and just because you like it or you think that it's a masterpiece, do you think that the others are going to criticize it like this? So you think that you're the best advertiser in the world, so your opinion actually matters to say that this is the video that is going to win everybody and stuff. Maybe people understood your manipulation strategies and stuff. And then what did you do? You just stole something which was actually having social proof on Pinterest. So basically nothing which is yours. You stole something that had social proof from Pinterest, which is actually proving that it's something that people like, and you had 8 ROAS. Yeah, where is the rocket science to that? It just does not make sense. It's pure gambling at this point, or you don't understand what you're talking about. I have read every second post on here from experienced pros, but in the comments, other pros tear those pros apart and prove their method useless. Then another does the same to those, and no advice is valid beyond their own business managers. Has it always been like this? I keep hearing how it's this year that's up. Is that true? Basically, the person that he was making decent money on June, July, August, he's saying that this year is up and all of that while he made money. Okay, so do you know what is this? This is a crybaby that he was actually getting good results in these months, and then the other month he cannot get good results, so suddenly Facebook is to blame or whatever. We see a mentality of stealing creative from other places just for the social proof and stuff, not doing original content, and all of these people, while the competition has increased, they just want to go before iOS that even stupid images and stupid everything was working, but now the competition is more because internet is actually more accessible to more and more people that they want to start an online business or dropshipping or whatever. And these people don't understand that the competition is much more, so they just blame Facebook about it instead of blaming themselves. So let's see some of the comments though, just so that you can see. So he says, another guy. So he says, been on Facebook since 2012 running ads. Never ever seen this crap Meta pulls now. Never been this bad and gets continually worse every year. But hey, as long as their stock price is at record highs for some reason, it's not for some reason, it's because people do keep advertising on Meta and they do make money. If they didn't make money, they wouldn't spend money on Meta. The problem over here is that we have companies that they do start on 2012. They have numbers like getting cost per purchase for $10 or $12 or $20. Even if they have a good product which is completely new, the competition is catching up and people are going to actually start copying them or do all of this kind of and eventually they're losing this and then they blame Meta. They don't blame themselves that all of these years they haven't adapted, they haven't done the extra mile, they haven't done this. So you're running ads since 2012, okay? And you're telling me if you're running for yourself, that means that you have been left behind, that you don't have a good offer because, you know, most of the companies, they do start and they research everything, the offer that they're going to have and everything. But after that point, when they're comfortable and they make some money, they stop innovating on that part. And they don't continue finding the best offer and all of that, changing their distributors, finding another person who's going to do their products cheaper and stuff. And then the new people that they come, they are doing this research and they want to be competitive. So they try to find solutions around that when another company which is established doesn't. And sometimes it's not needed because they have so good branding and they have such a good company. But for everyone else that they're not following the competition, eventually they're going to have a problem and they're going to fail. But they don't understand it, they just blame Meta, while there are so many other businesses that I have seen that they're doing really well, okay? And of course, if they don't continue adapting to the situation, they are not going to do eventually well. So if we think that Meta is actually increasing their stock price because of the political ads or because of Temu advertising a lot, then you're completely wrong. I have seen so many companies advertising and not having an issue. And do you know what's the problem over here? That most of the times these are people that they don't have the courage to admit that they're bad and they're doing mistakes and they're not adapting and they're doing all of these things like Meta is a charity organization that everybody has to come here and do advertisement and it's going to work for everyone. No, it's an open market and you have to compete with others. If you don't understand that, don't come to Meta and don't cry about it. Then he says, every single 7 to 8 figure advertiser I knew on Meta has decreased their spend substantially and moved to other platforms. Bull. They haven't increased their budget and they have put this budget to other platforms. This is total. Which platform? TikTok. TikTok is not working except from organic content and for some companies that they do have some good results. Who else? Google. Google is not scalable. Without Meta, you're not going to have that. Now, if these companies made a lot of big email lists and all of that, and now they're monetizing these lists, so they're limiting their spenders so that they're not going to have overlap in retargeting. Where the did they get all these leads from? They got them from Facebook and from Instagram, and now they're utilizing all of that, having all of this, and they're just not good enough to keep getting new clients and new clients and new clients as a new acquisition, but they're utilizing all the growth that they got from here. Yet somehow Meta stock is all high, no clue how that's possible. I'm telling you how it's possible. What other platforms though? Well done. Where else should I go? I use mainly Instagram. What other platforms would you recommend? He doesn't answer to that because there is no answer, okay? There's no answer to which other platforms you should use because I explained why. And then they say that regarding the stock, it's because of other inventions, equity, I don't like AI and all of that. But I can tell you that The good part with Meta is that they don't care about you. The good part. This is also bad part. That's why they have bad customer support and all of that. They don't care about you because if you're not there, somebody else is going to fill your gap. And if somebody else is not going to fill your gap, the other people are going to benefit having a lower cost per purchase. Still, it's going to be divided among all the people advertising in specific products that they have overlap. So this is how it goes. It's like the stock market. Eventually, there is going to be a balance of who can advertise and who cannot. If your numbers don't make sense, Facebook is not to be blamed because of that. And if your numbers made sense and they don't make now because it's more expensive, that means that there are other people that they have entered the market and they are competing against you with better numbers while you failed doing so. And this is what most people don't get. To answer your question directly, this is another comment. No, this is a disaster. Before February 14, there was no gambling involved. You could run ads and every day you would see good results. Bull. Even before that, you were having problems in between the days. It's volatile. Maybe one day you'd break even, but the next you'd make a profit. That's how it's been for me over the last 3 months. If things don't improve soon, I'm shutting everything down and shifting my focus elsewhere. Bull. Everybody's talking about this, saying I'm going to stop with Meta and all of that. They don't do it. Do you know how many people I have seen saying that I'm going to stop Meta and stuff? Do you think that market cares if you stop advertising on Meta? All of these people, they're just saying that you're going to have a huge issue. Stop your ads and you're going to see all your growth going away. If you're breaking even or if you're having some profits and stuff and you cut them, then your business is going to die. Unless if you have very strong roots. Or you find another magical way. It became too much and too stressful one day to get great traffic, the next one is terrible. For example, I ran a test with Facebook ads, I launched a new e-commerce store, spent 7K, I made 35K in return. Great. But after 2 months, sales dropped by 60% with no changes on my end. It's a clear sign you get a test of success, then it falls apart. Bull. Let me tell you what happened. Most probably, the way that he's writing, he's a dropshipper. Because he says, I made a store for 7K, blah, blah, and all of that, and made 35K in return. Do you know what is the core idea of dropshippers? That you should not work and you should copy someone else of what they're doing. And this is what is happening. There are so many tools. So initially, maybe he found a product that it was working, and the moment that he actually started having some success and stuff, all of these programs, they started tracking all of the sales that he had, and they started copying him. One person here, one person there, they up the whole thing that he had. That's why in dropshipping you try to scale as much as you can, as fast as you can. And yeah, who else was going to give you the possibility of making 35K? Except from Facebook and Instagram that you're just blaming that is bad. What did you want? A check of 35K every month just because you advertise on Facebook? There's so many people advertising on Facebook. If you didn't adapt, if you didn't find other products and all of that, who is making in 2 months profit of 28K? You know, that's what I'm trying to say, that all of these people are crying, but the next day they're going to come again on Facebook and they will advertise. Next one. Honestly, same. I made about 30K in my currency. That was fantastic. Then it all fell apart. So I just don't know what to do at the moment. Like I'm in Bulgaria and TikTok ads are still not a thing here and everywhere. And everyone is either for Facebook or Instagram, sometimes on TikTok, but mostly these two. So I generally do not know what other platforms there are for me. I'm selling clothing. There are no other platforms, okay? Just move on and find other products. I don't think, she's also dropshipper most probably. I do think they will ever been able to solve this. It's a clear tracking issue. They do not know how to show the ads to. There is a truth to that. I do believe that before iOS, the ads were doing better because instead of optimizing, let's say, with 50 purchases, we were optimizing with 100. So we lost a big fraction of the people that we could target, but this is only the beginning because while we lost the people, the full potential reach that we could target, we lost also some sales in these potential reach that they would come inside the ads and optimize. So now our ads, instead of optimizing with X events, they optimize with X minus 20 events, for example, okay? They optimize with less events, which means that the cost per acquisition and stuff, it's higher because it optimizes with less data. Next one, I meant it will be fun to see how it will play out. Almost every small business puts out and all big spenders start reducing and looking elsewhere. That's bull. Again, I'm telling you, they'll fix it so fast you won't believe it. If it starts going bad, he means. Then they talk about AI investors. Okay, let's go to another crybaby. You're not the only one. I recently started a thread about Meta throttling performance, and the response to that post was overwhelming, and people were mostly in agreement. Of course, because these are all. It's like you made a club with ugly men, you know, and they go inside the club with ugly men, and they say, yeah, women are this and that, and they don't do this and that, and all of that. Well, the problem is that they're ugly and women don't want them, you know, and this is the same thing. They are bad at what they do, or they are lazy in most cases. They don't want to go the extra mile. And what is happening is that all of these people are just gathering around and they talk about how bad Facebook it is, while others are making money and they're laughing. It's like you are making a club of ugly men that they discuss for women. What the do you expect them to say? That women are good and that they're having so much fun with them? No, because women despise them. Performance since then on my campaign has gotten worse. I went from doing 2 ROAS to 0.3. Is that bad since yesterday? There is no reason for such erratic ups and downs. The platform is either broken or the buyer pool is shrinking while competition is rising on Meta, or Meta is cherry picking who wins on the platform. I don't know. You see, and after losing, it comes all of this conspiracy theory about all of these things. To answer your question, Meta ads have been insanely inconsistent all this year. I can't continue like that. This is the only source of income, and I've lost $80,000. Okay, despite what I'm saying here, I'm really sorry for him. Since 2023, and it has become an addiction and an obsession for me to still keep going in the hopes things will turn around. It's that bad for me at least. Whoa, I didn't expect Facebook to be an addiction for someone, you know. Same for our family business. Been around advertising on Meta for our business since back in 2012. We're going to have to close and lay everyone off if this continues. Same situation. You have to admit that you're advertising since 2012, you haven't evolved, competition catch up, and this is the sad truth. You're having these issues. Same here. I've been in performance marketing since 2010. I've never had such a long streak of bad performance when it lasted years. I hope the platform gets better. I'm shutting everything down and taking a mental break for a few months and breaking this addiction. I placed an order for 1,000 units of inventory worth 4,400 for my product. I don't know how I'm going to get out of this one. Listen what I'm understanding from this one. I placed an order for 1,000 units of inventory. So his product costs, if the total cost is 4,400, 4,040. I'm guessing he's selling to 30, 40, 50. That product, if it looks that good, that means, my friend, that if you don't have a good AOV, most probably you're going to fail because these are not friendly numbers. But still, I'm guessing here. Unfortunately, this seems to be the case of many e-com owners who rely on Facebook. Was hoping for big Q4 to make 2024 have a somewhat profitable year, but looking at the trajectory of sales right now in mid-October, it does not seem to be the case. We're down over like 60-70% in total revenue. I'm feeling like there are huge mistakes being done in these ad accounts, because I'm managing 40 ad accounts. I supervise another with my students, maybe another 100, because I have students also who are freelancers. With my friends, another 50. So I'm seeing all of these ad accounts, and we are not seeing this kind of thing. We haven't lost 50% of our clients to that. This would be disastrous, and then we would say that something is wrong over here. As a general question, do you think small business physical stores do the same turnover every single day no matter what? Why would an online store be different? This is a question. This is a guy here says, no, pre-iOS 14 was pretty golden. Even after that rolled out, things weren't stable, but now it's a crapshoot. For many people, it became more difficult after iOS. I think Meta has been jamming in so many AI features since the start of the year. For the platform as a whole, is an unstable mess. There are probably a whole host of other factors too, but I'm personally placing the blame on that. This year, every time I've spoken to someone who works in paid media, they've had a horror story or two about Meta performance in 2024. Except from March and the start of the previous and the end of the previous and the start of the next month after March, I'm going to say that we didn't have a lot of good months. We had only January and August, and we had some, for me March was bad and the other months were mediocre. October is not a good month. It started bad and it doesn't have good results. And this is why all of this discussion is starting, okay? Because of this. But no, there are no horror stories. Okay, let's see this one. I run ads on multiple platforms and run the same ads across both Meta and other sources, and the other sources absolutely smash Meta results out of the water. Let me tell you the lie about this, okay? He's talking about ROAS while he's not talking about volume. So many people run Google ads right now, okay? And they're running ads, they spend 20, 30K, for example, and they have 5 ROAS, 6, 7, 8 ROAS, okay? And they cannot scale. And then they go to Meta, they get 2 ROAS, but they can spend 200K, okay? And then if they close Meta ads, they see that also Google ads are falling. And yes, Google ads can be really good, profitable. The problem is that they're not scaling that well. There are a lot of dropshippers also, especially in Europe, that they do change and they start from Google ads initially instead of going to Facebook ads, but they are not growing as fast as they want to go and just sell as fast as they can without Facebook and without Instagram. This is what he's missing saying, because e-commerce is not about thinking the first sale always. It can be about lifetime value, but if you're a dropshipper, you have to understand that you are actually serving a model which is not a brand, you know? Sometimes when I see dropshippers talk about brands, it reminds me of MLMs, of people that they are part of MLMs and they call what they are doing a business, that they have a business. No, you don't have a business. You have nothing. You just try to convince other people to be part of the MLM. So when you're doing this and you're advertising and you're doing dropshipping, you have to understand that you will never have a brand. Never. Because eventually you will close your store unless if you adapt and you make it a brand. Okay, most of the times this is not happening with dropshipping, it's happening with print on demand. It can happen, I have seen it happening, and you do the whole transition. Or if you're so good and you're developing products, okay, so you have a lot of period of time until someone is going to copy you or the factory. So the amount of spam and the amount of people that have been scammed on Facebook continues to grow, and people don't trust what they see on Facebook anymore. And based in Canada, there's literally drugstores selling every kind of illegal drug advertising on Metalol. Okay. So ever since February this year, it began to get volatile. Just do your best to not waste money. Every business will have a period of time where everything goes and as such, you always need to you need a pod to keep you alive during those times. Very good, constructive comment. Our solution has been to invest in complete, omnipresent, organic. Perfect. Posting organic on every platform across more than one account to get viral content. We spent 15,000 with an agency helping us to do 100%. Oh, I'm sensing that it's an advertisement. As of right now, it's actually a hell of a lot more predictable. Yeah, I'm sensing that this is an advertisement to send him a message to see. Yeah, because he's replying. Okay, cool. Next one. Yeah, so there's a guy saying here, everyone's forgetting that we are fighting against 500 million government budget for political bullshit ads. There's another guy. Yeah, and there's another guy. I'm not in the US. That shit doesn't affect me in the slightest, and my results are still garbage. So you still have people saying all of that. So just to recap over here, so many people, so many companies, okay? There are people that they make money. I'm telling you, I'm seeing it across the accounts. Yes, there are people that they have lost their touch all of these years while they were doing ads. And others that they didn't adapt and they started losing while they were making money back in the day. Other companies that they didn't pay VAT, for example, for 2 years, and they started paying VAT and it wasn't profitable anymore. There are so many different cases, guys, and so many different things. do you know what I realize with the internet? That everybody, comes outside and says his think like we have to blame Facebook and stuff. And then for me, who I'm a person that I'm able to, how many times I blame Meta for things, but I can filter that this is the best platform right now, period, because I'm seeing so many other accounts and I know that there are so many people making money with Meta. So you have a bunch of crybabies that they talk about it. Most of them are dropshippers that they don't understand that having a dropshipping business is the most ridiculous model. It's a cheat if it works, but you have to be very fast and make as much money as you can because it's going to collapse anyway. And they think that they are going to get their pension by doing that. And then there are the people that they don't understand e-commerce, because there are people that they just go, either they try to sell something for $10, $20 while it's really expensive right now to do so. And the other thing that is happening is that they don't realize that e-commerce is about consistent sales and building a brand, because you need Facebook and Instagram to be the platforms that are going to give you the growth. And if you don't do that, then you have a huge issue because you're trying to get profits from the first sale. And the moment you're trying to get profits from the first sale, you're not utilizing the platform in the best possible way, helping you scale so that you can monetize these people with lifetime value. This is why a lot of times we have companies right now operating with subscription model and all of that, so that they can make money not on the first sale, but later on. And yes, there are so many businesses that I have seen working, but I have seen also businesses working on the first sale making money. And then, for example, do a drop and have all of this crazy email list and just make 100K without any marketing cost. This is e-commerce. This is the power of e-commerce. The repeated sales and the lifetime value of the customers. If you're a dropshipper and you think that you can treat Facebook in the way that a really good company with branding is going to treat it, then you are wrong, or maybe they have explained it to you in a wrong way so that you can buy their course. That's all about it. That's all about the crybabies, and this is one reality check for a lot of people. If you are not profitable, there's something wrong with you, and you should not be blaming Meta, because this is not going to take you anywhere. You're not going to get better, okay? You have to try to find a way to make it work within Meta, because this is Meta, and Meta is not going to change for you or become a less expensive platform just because of you. At the end of the day, if it's not going to work, more and more people are going to leave the platform, and eventually it's going to work for the ones that are going to stay and they're going to continue advertising. I hope that it makes sense. I just don't understand this concept that people believe that Meta should make it work for everyone. It's crazy. So now that I took a breath from all of this thing, before we go to your questions, I have this. It's coming from a group where apparently the owner doesn't know what he's talking about. He just sells courses. So it says, what's the best time to post Facebook ads? And it says, any time of day. Don't even schedule ads. We've seen a correlation between scheduled ads and reduced performance. That's the problem with Facebook. That everybody can come and say whatever they want, and then they say, this is what I have seen based on results. That's why you see me focusing so much on showing things. For example, on the last videos for the daily loop theory, there are people that they say I don't understand it and all of that, while I'm trying to show data just to explain to everyone why you cannot scale by just using one creative and how Meta is going to stop you. If I tell them that, hey, you cannot scale just because Meta is not going to give you extra sales just because you want to, it's just me against their word or against their will. But if I show them in an actual account what happened and all of that, then you're proving something. And the problem right now between ad channels is that nobody's proving anything. Everybody has an opinion and everybody says this is what we see that is working across our accounts. It sounds ridiculous. Show results. Show how it happened. Try to explain it in a way that people are going to understand it, and maybe by their comments you're going to become also better. But saying that scheduling the ads is going to hurt the results, this is the most stupid thing that I have ever heard, This is the same group that the owner says that the pixel doesn't get trained. Imagine the level of stupidity that it's there. Not from the people that they're there, but from this person that doesn't know what he's talking about, and he hasn't posted any of his results for years. Next one, he posts only results from his students. Anyway, I'm not part of this group, by the way. Some of my students are. Great podcast as always. Do you do consulting calls with any ad accounts, or is there a minimum ad spend threshold? So, as far as I can see, you're also Greek. So let me tell you this: the reason that the consulting is there is not to make me rich. First of all, I do like to teach. This is one thing. Secondly, I'm not gonna say that I do it out of philanthropy or whatever. I also make money from consulting calls, but it's not a lot. It's 250 per hour, which is not even compared to my other pricing. But it's the best thing for someone who doesn't have the money to pay me for the course or for something else, because you can have one-on-one with just 250, and that's the whole point of having consulting calls, so that people can afford to take you for 1 hour instead of taking you for 1 month in a much cheaper price. So no, there's no threshold. But there is another thing that I need to say. The reason that I'm not putting consulting calls in a higher price is this. Of course, if it becomes really stressful with many hours and stuff, I will do it. But a lot of times consulting calls are ending up into closing calls. And there are people that are coming to consulting, they get to know you, and maybe they will come later and they will tell you to also take their ad account. So I do believe that consulting calls is just an introduction, and I do believe that consulting calls is the way that I can also help ad accounts without them having to pay me for a month, without asking a price like 1K, 2K, 3K for just one call. Now, I hope that it's not going to increase as a price, but as long as I can manage it, I will keep it in that low level. Of course, it cannot be 100 because I wouldn't have time to go to the bathroom if it goes there, but you get my point. Hi Konstantinos, it would really help if you had any feedback on the following. In case there is daily budget to test only one ad set, is it okay to test into the same ad set video creatives that have different formats, problem solution and reasons why, etc.? Or do you suggest to never test different formats in the same ad set? I notice people have different views, but I don't understand what's the actual underlying logic. Thank you for asking, and thank you for trying to find the logic, instead of just listening to me or someone else just because it's me, So I write to him, what's the point? Do you want to scale? And I will explain in the next podcast. Because if you want to scale, what's the point of putting different creatives with different angles in the same campaign? If you are right and there are different angles and they resonate to different people, most probably what's going to happen is that you're going to end up with two campaigns that are working, and you're going to spend double the amount that you will spend in one campaign. And then he says, we have different formats already created that we can test. The goal is to not to scale. The pixel is young and we're trying to find profitable campaigns. So I'm wondering if in this context the algorithm gets confused even more if we put video creatives with different formats in the same ad set. If you start them all together, what you're going to do is you're going to end up with the best one, and you're going to see which one is working the best. You can see which angle or which creative is working the best. So from that perspective, it's something that you can totally do. Now, if you move along the way and you just do the campaign and you just toss the creatives inside while the campaign is active, maybe you will have a problem, especially in a new pixel. Because let's say, for example, that you use the aspect of problem solution, and then you have people getting convinced by this angle, which is a problem solution. And then you toss inside creatives that they are from reasons why. If this angle is not resonating also with problem solution people, then that means that the hot pocket that has been created from the sales that you got from the previous campaign, the 20-30 sales that they have created a hot pocket of similar people and then tries to find similar people to this hot pocket, then maybe these people are not good data for you to find sales into the reasons why thing. So in that case, I wouldn't use it after you start a campaign, but you can start them all together, especially in a new pixel, to see which one is working better. Let's continue. In any case, that's all I had for you. I really wanted to make this video about this Reddit thing so that we can all clear that there is a lot of hypocrisy behind all of these people crying. And yes, they're crybabies. I will hope to see you on the next one. This is the end of the first part of the Facebook Ads Breaking News podcast. If you don't want to miss the second half of the podcast, where I'm answering all the remaining questions of the week, visit my Patreon page following the link on the description. This was the Facebook Ads Breaking News podcast. Like it or not, it is what it is.